start with a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. So I'm a third-year student at Carleton University. I'm doing my major in Applied Linguistics and Discourse Studies, and I'm doing a minor in Disability Studies. I have a keen interest in this field and in this project because I have been diagnosed with an episodic disability. In my first year at university, actually, I was diagnosed with a rare connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. Sorry, do you need something?
Stand and put this beside you then.
All right. Do you want me to wait for a minute while you do that? Okay. All right. Sorry, everyone. Are we good? Okay, thank you. All right, so yes, I was diagnosed with a rare connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, which is classified as an episodic disability and has greatly affected my university experience. I also deal with multiple mental illnesses and chronic fatigue, which also affect me a lot as well. Just to give you an idea of how this has affected my university experience, I actually ended up losing my scholarship because I had to unexpectedly drop a course, and they don't have the structures in place to deal with unexpectedly dropping courses. You have to know ahead of time how many courses you're going to be taking, and so unfortunately I did lose that. So that's one of many reasons why I am very, very passionate about being here with you all today and being involved in such a wonderful project. So I started working for NEADS through the Canada Summers Job Program this past June, and continued my work through a program offered through Carleton called the Carleton University Accessible Experiential Learning Program, which is funded by the Government of Ontario's Career Ready Fund and aims to place Carleton students with disabilities in employment opportunities. So my job personally with NEADS is to redo and relaunch their Disability Awards database on a new WordPress platform. I'll be expanding on what this website does later in my presentation. Near the end of the summer, Frank, the national coordinator, who is based at Carleton and who I work directly with, invited me on a call for the FINESSED project, which is how I came to be NEADS representative on the advisory committee for this wonderful project and why I'm here with you all today. So NEADS provides information and referrals to hundreds of post-secondary students with disabilities through our national office and responds to requests for information and advice from employers, provincial and federal government departments, service providers, and faculty members or teachers on university and college campuses, the offices of federal members of parliament, as well as provincial and territorial members of parliament, and also non-profit organizations. I know that's a mouthful, but basically, we're the National Education Association of Disabled Students. We were founded in 1986. We are a consumer-controlled cross-disability organization, which basically means we are an organization for people with disabilities by people with disabilities. Almost all of our employees have disabilities, including 100% of our board of directors, and our board of directors is representative of all the provinces and territories in Canada, though I would like to point out, I believe we are currently missing a director for Nova Scotia and the Northwest Territories at the moment. So our mandate is to support full access to education and employment for post-secondary students and graduates with disabilities across Canada. Based on this mandate, NEADS focuses on 3 core strategic program areas. So our 3 focuses are student debt reduction, student experience in class and on campus, and student and graduate employment. Our organization works collaboratively with student groups, post-secondary stakeholders, non-governmental organizations, employers, campus service providers, government branches, and the communities to improve the experience of students with disabilities on campus and in the workplace across Canada. We also work to spread and promote information about programs and services offered by these groups. We have a number of core programs that work towards each of these goals. These include our websites, which I'll expand on in just a moment, skill training resources, conducting relevant research, and holding regular regional events across Canada to provide resources and skill development to students. So we have 3 main websites. Our first website is our main webpage, which is NEADS.ca. Here you can find press releases, newsletters, reports, and other publications. As an example of the sorts of press releases we do, Annette has actually provided one of our recent press releases in your information packet today that we recently released regarding the changes made to the Ontario government, specifically in the form of OSAP. We also provide information on upcoming events, both of our events and events provided by other organizations. On this website, you can also search through student unions, campus student groups, and various campus services from across the country, and also find general education and employment resources, as well as many other types of media releases. Another website we do, which is what I mentioned, my focus is the disabilityawards.ca. This website is recently relaunched. It is still under construction, so if you do visit it, I'm continually adding more information. We haven't done an official relaunch of it yet, but we wanted to get it out there for students who are currently searching for it. On this website, students can find scholarships, bursaries, awards, loans, etc. that can help fund their education. So far, the only people to know about a change that's coming up is myself and the board of directors and a few of our other colleagues, but I'm excited to say that when we relaunch, I will actually be rebranding the website as Fund Your Future. So here we have government funding, provincial funding, university funding, and private sector funding for both graduate students and undergraduate students. Our third website is Breaking It Down, which is breakingitdown.neads.ca, and it is run by the wonderful Nancy LaMonica, who is here with us today. I'm sure if you have any questions about that, she would be much better to ask than myself. That is where her expertise lies. So this is an employment portal for students, recent graduates, and employers. You can find job search tools and resources from mentorship, legal and human rights information such as the duty to accommodate and how to market yourself during the job search. Ooh. My presentation has been changed. It might just be the different computer. Had a different layout on my laptop. This is cool. So I wanted to talk about some of the projects that we do and some of the work that we do. On the slide, I have 3 of our noteworthy projects that we have done recently, and I'll get to those in just a second, but I want to start with a bit more of an general overview. So our connections help us to do a lot of our own work, as well as help us achieve what we do collaboratively for them. For example, we receive operational grant funding from the Social Development Partnerships Program of Employment and Social Development Canada each year. Plus, we have been engaged in research initiatives with post-secondary stakeholders through the Social Science and Humanities Research Council, Ontario Human Capital Research Innovation Fund, the Centre for Education Research and Counselling, and the federal government's Opportunities Fund. We have been a stakeholder group of the Government of Canada's National Advisory Group on Student Financial Assistance since 1987. We are also a member organization of the Council of Canadians with Disabilities, CCD. We have received grants and sponsorships from a number of foundations and private sector companies for various initiatives and events. Labour Canada funded our Breaking It Down employment website and consultations across Canada that led to it. We will soon be working on a contract with Colleges and Institutes Canada to support its career launcher internships for college graduates. We have just applied to Heritage Canada for greater capacity for translation of content on our website. Our NEADS Student Awards program, which I will explain in a moment, have been funded by private donors and corporate sponsorships. The Canada Summer Jobs Grant has allowed us to hire many students over the years, including myself. Through these connections, we have a number of exciting projects we've been included on recently, so I thought I would highlight 3 of them. The Landscape of Accessibility and Accommodation for Post-Secondary Students with Disabilities in Canada is a report that does a thorough examination of the current landscape of accessibility services, accommodations, technical equipment, and supports for students with disabilities at publicly funded post-secondary institutions across Canada. The purpose of this project and report has been to inform the Government of Canada's consultation on the development and implementation of a new Federal Disability Act. The report includes a series of legislative recommendations as well as a range of recommendations for key stakeholders to further progress towards accessibility. As part of the study, NEADS conducted a detailed analysis of the 2016 Canada Graduate and Professional Student Survey to examine the experiences of 2,324 graduate students who identify as having a disability. We also released reports in which we compared graduate students without disabilities, with and without disabilities, part-time and full-time graduate students with disabilities, STEM and non-STEM students with disabilities, and Aboriginal students with disabilities. The full landscape report is available through our website along with these reports regarding all of these related studies. I would also like to mention for our purposes here today that the landscape report does specifically identify and discuss episodic disabilities throughout the report. NEADS has also been involved with the development of the National Standard on Psychological Health and Safety for post-secondary students with mental health, with the Mental Health Commission of Canada. However, I do believe we are going to have a speaker discussing this later today, so I won't go too into detail on that right now. So I do want to point out, NEADS is one of the organizations developing the standard and holding consultations across Canada. Nicole Gibson, who is the NEADS Vice Chair and is on the Technical Advisory Committee for the standard. We also are currently working on a foundation application for a multi-year project on mental health services and supports in post-secondary education from a consumer perspective. Lastly, NEADS is a member of the newly established Advisory Committee on the Framework to Prevent and Address Gender-Based Violence at Post-Secondary Institutions, along with the Canadian Federation of Students, student groups, colleges, and universities, unions, survivor advocates, and frontline service workers. Taylor Glaspie, the NEADS BC Director and our Treasurer, represents NEADS on the Advisory Committee for this, which will provide advice and expertise on the development, consultation, and implementation of the framework. The framework itself will act as a comprehensive resource for post-secondary student institutions to help guide actions in preventing and addressing gender-based violence. A full press release on this topic is available through our main page. So we do have a student awards program that we are very proud of. Through this awards program, we offer 3 distinct awards. We have the NEADS National Student Awards, which is a $3,000 tuition award. We have the NEADS Holly Bartlett Memorial Award, which is a $1,000 tuition award. And we have the NEADS Christy Nider Memorial Award, which is also a $1,000 tuition award. So these programs recognize outstanding Canadian college and university students with disabilities for their academic and community achievements and their potential to succeed in their chosen career. The NEADS National Student Awards Program is the only cross-disability pan-Canadian awards program that is open to students with disabilities at all levels of post-secondary education and in any field of study. Over the past 11 years, the programs have awarded 86 $3,000 awards and 17 $1,000 tuition awards to deserving students with disabilities. By my calculations, this totals just under $260,000, but then again, I'm a language student, not a math student, so take that as it is. We currently have a fundraising campaign going through a Canada Helps page. The goal of this year's campaign is to raise $6,000 to support 2 $3,000 NEADS student awards for our 2019 program, which will actually be taking applications this week. All funding raised will go directly to the award recipients. NEADS is also partnered with AMI, which is Accessible Media Incorporated, to deliver their 2 $5,000 Robert Pearson Memorial Awards. We do not provide the funding for these 2 scholarships, but all applications go through our system, which has been newly updated and improved. So thank you for listening. I hope you now know a little bit more about what it is we do, and if you have any questions or things that you would like to discuss, I would be more than happy to talk more about it. I could talk for hours, but I won't.